What's up, YouTubers? Today we're going to talk about the Boker Kalashnikov XXL Desert Warrior. This is the BladeHQ exclusive edition, which is a dagger blade pattern, not to be confused with the XXL Desert Warrior. For those that don't know the story, most probably do, but very quickly, they came up with this Desert Warrior pattern because so many people were misspelling desert for dessert or dessert for desert when they were seeking BladeHQ's Desert Warrior pattern, which is green with the kind of copper blade coating. And so they just decided to, as kind of a joke, come out with the Desert Warrior. They've become somewhat of cult classics. So that's the last we'll see of the desert. But we're going to talk about the Desert Warrior here. This is an automatic knife from Boker in the Kalashnikov line. It is a 4.8-inch blade, and it is made of Os 8 super steel, so you really got to watch out. This is some top end stuff. Not really. It weighs in at 6.4 ounces, and it prices at about $70 US. They're out now, but they'll come back from time to time. These sell out really quick. Like I said, they've kind of achieved cult status at this point in time just because of that story behind it. In terms of some comparisons or alternative knives, which you know, some are ridiculous, some are likely to be illegal in your area, if not many areas. So I'll go ahead and bring out some of those. And one of those would be the Kershaw Lucha. This one has the titanium scales on it. That contains a 4+ inch blade, just over a 4-inch blade. So again, in excess of 4 inches. And but you know, that definitely would be one of those possibles out there. The Microtech Combat Truodon has like a 4-inch blade. This is an out the front automatic. This is the Hellhound edition with that interesting blade, and that's a huge knife. And if you take a look at that, it's just, this thing dwarfs that. So there's your Hellhound edition. Another very modestly sized Microtech Stitch out the front automatic. That's a huge knife too. It's about 3.7, I think 3.7 inch blade or so. And again, this knife just kind of dwarfs that in terms of length. So that is in that realm as well. More ridiculous knives. Those weren't ridiculous. Those were probably in the likely illegal category for your part of town. But the Boker Mermaid. This is about a 3.75 inch blade. The Rainbow Mermaid. Yeah, another cult status knife. And one more huge one. A very friendly pocket carry. This is the Cold Steel Tower. So finally we enter into the realm of the knives that are, you know, difficult to share space with anything else in your pocket. The Tower has, I think, a 5.5 inch blade or so. So there's that extra inch there. And of course the Tower is a full two-handed, basically pocket sword, essentially. Whereas this particular knife is actually only about a hand and a half for a medium-large hand. So you get a hand and 2 fingers on there. But yeah, you know, if you choke up a little bit, you can maybe get that third hand on there. So yeah, this is definitely an interesting automatic knife. In reality, you may or may not know, but the original Kalashnikov from Boker is actually, it's a low budget, but actually very effective. I will go ahead and link the original review I did of the original Kalashnikov. This particular one actually has CTS XHP steel, which was heat treated very well. I abused the heck out of that thing. Actually even ground the spine down and made some sparks out of that. This is a great, again, inexpensive knife that has quite the snap on that one. Actually, let's go ahead and try to do, I don't know if I want to do this live, but we'll give it a try. I'll try to do these at the same time, see how they do. So you'll notice there might be a little bit of lag on this one. Of course, it has, you know, I don't know about the spring behind it, but it's obviously going to be somewhat of a stronger spring than the original Kalashnikov. Let's talk about some of the pros of this knife. Of course, it has some very non-threatening colors. You can bring this out and kids look at it and they're like, oh, wow, that looks like a great toy. So, you know, that's, with your great offset colors, that it offsets, I guess, the menace of this knife, you know, or potential menace of this knife. So be careful if you're around the kids on this one, because it does look like it's, oh yeah, this is really fun, you know, and it flips out and it's a real automatic knife. You know, this knife uses fair and equal distribution of all the colors in the rainbow, as far as I could tell, especially in each of the screws. So you have your pivot screw, you got nice yellow, your button has purple, you've got your one red screw there, you've got a green screw, and then you've got a blue screw. And you'll notice those sprinkles are spread throughout. So this is a very non-discriminatory knife. it tends to distribute those colors nice and evenly. Of course, it does lean a little bit more towards the pink and the baby blue, so again, associating it with, I guess, baby colors. But, you know, I can't complain about that. This knife does cut. I recorded a bunch of things on the front side montage, and it actually did cut. You know, so, and honestly, it pocketed and carried quite nice because it's actually a relatively short one, short knife in terms of this carry, and it's very thin. It doesn't take up a whole lot of space, so it actually lived with a wallet just fine in my pants pocket, and I was actually quite impressed with that. So, ridiculous or not, it actually carries quite nice and slim. And of course, this knife, how can you not just laugh, you know, every time you see it? And when you pull it out, I use this only as an at-home carry, and when I pull it out, when people say, hey, do you got a knife, because they know I'm always carrying a knife, I pull it out and they just absolutely laugh. They're like, you know, okay, in reality they roll their eyes, but you know, in my own head they're laughing. So that's it. You know, in terms of some of the cons, this is likely going to be an illegal carry in many locations, you know, based on the size and places. You know, if you combine that with the automatic nature of it, you could always just take out the spring on this one and make it a flip out button lock, but still at that, you know, 4.7-inch blade or whatever, it's 4.8-inch blade, I guess. That's going to be a problem for many people if you're really going to carry this. The blade is just too damn long. As you're trying to reach in and cut stuff, and you saw that also on the front side montage, even choking up, you're still 5 inches away from anything. And so opening up little packaging and the like, it is not very conducive. So in terms of those things, it is truly not recommended at all. And then the Aus-8, of course, I was kidding earlier. That is not a super steal. This one picked up a couple chips just cutting through boxes for the week. So it's something I kind of fully expected. You know, again, overall, what would I say? This is obviously a novelty knife, but it's a novelty knife of the greatest kind. You know, it's not overly expensive. It's actually functional, usable, easy enough to sharpen. It brings a smile every time you pull it out, and you know, out of yourself and others. And so I will be saying goodbye to this knife. You know, it's been quite the fun little guy. Shout out to Olivia for buying this one, and but I will always have the memories of this knife. And so I hope you did find this enjoyable, if not useful. And if you did, like and subscribe, and have a great day. Take care now. What's up, YouTubers? Today we're going to talk about the... I'm sorry. Okay, let's try that again. What's up, YouTubers? Today we're going to talk about the Boker. When you got those chips in the bottom of the bag and you just don't want to have to reach in anymore, what do? You get out a nice easy knife and you cut through that. And you cut through that. Doesn't always work perfect. But the Kalashnikov XXL does a great job.